who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey, sports fans, Larry Elder here. Welcome to another edition of And Another Thing. This happens to be edition number 47. Can you believe it? Go to LarryElder.com, become an Eldorado. You'll get a free copy of Michael and Me, my award-winning DVD where we explore the Second Amendment and where 3 times I asked the esteemed director, Mr. Michael Moore, how many times Americans use guns every year to defend themselves. And 3 times he responds, well, you have to get the DVD to find out how he responds. Now for today's show. I want to give you the definitive take on Bill Clinton. Now, wait, don't leave me. And believe me, you've never heard this. This is going to be 5 minutes of a take that you've never heard. Sit down. Try to devoid yourself of anything you've ever heard about Bill Clinton. I know you love him. I know that he's been called the president of the world by people like the guy over on MSNBC, Hee-Haw, Chris Matthews. But I just want you to set everything aside and try to listen to me, if you could, objectively for 5 minutes. Point number 1, let's just talk about the women. Juanita Broderick is a woman who used to run nursing homes in Arkansas. She went on Dateline NBC. Did you forget about this? And she alleged that Bill Clinton, who was then the Attorney General, raped her. Not attempted rape, raped her. Now we're watching all these women who are in the military right now testify about the allegations that they were sexually assaulted. Many of them never reported anything. We believe them, as I think we ought to. But Juanita Broderick is like a dead fly. Nobody even thinks about her. She wasn't writing a book. Bill Clinton was also accused of sexual assault or sexual battery by Kathleen Willey. Remember when she went on 60 Minutes? Ed Bradley interviewed her, and she said that Bill Clinton took her hand and put it on his erect genitalia. And Ed Bradley, the correspondent who interviewed her, said, was he aroused? She said he was. That's a sexual battery. And the next day, I think it was, Gloria Steinem, the feminist, wrote a piece that was published in the New York Times that said, frankly, that wasn't sexual harassment. And she said the reason it wasn't sexual harassment is because when Bill Clinton did what he did, and she said, assuming everything that Kathleen Willey says is true, when Bill Clinton did what he did, he then stopped after she protested. So therefore it wasn't sexual harassment. Are you kidding me? In other words, if I see an attractive, fulsome woman walking down the street, I can put my hand on where I ought not put it, and when she objects, as long as I remove it, I'm home free? My point is, this is the pretzel into which people twisted themselves to defend this man. Finally, sexual harassment. Paula Jones. Paula Jones said he took his hand and put it up her dress. She was an employee of the government, and she claims after she resisted him, she was adversely affected at work because of this. That was why there was this whole lawsuit against him, which, by the way, the Supreme Court ruled could proceed even though Bill Clinton was in office. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously the lawsuit could proceed. So you had, on the one hand, Bill Clinton being investigated for Whitewater. I won't bore you with that. On the other hand, you have this lawsuit. Joy is from Inglewood. Love Inglewood. Is the ObamaCare website not being programmed properly just an error that can get fixed and not a big deal that Republicans are making it out to be? While I, too, am not a fan of the new health care tax, I feel that Republicans are just looking for a reason to be nitpicky. Well, yes and yes. Republicans are looking for a reason to be nitpicky. That's the nature of politics. And I also agree it is a kind of a bizarre argument to make, and I think even Henry Waxman, a Democrat from California, made this argument on NPR this morning. He said, isn't it bizarre Republicans... I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be an Eldorado. Go to my website, LarryElder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.